Hi there, this is Dr. Rob Cywes, the Carbaddictiondoc, back with another episode in our series of Rules 4. And one of the conundrums about the ketogenic diet is that by definition, all diets are calorie reductive. And if you intentionally reduce your calorie consumption, it's called starvation, and starvation is unsustainable in the long run. But if you have to reduce your caloric consumption to lose weight, surely it can't work. If to reduce your calorie consumption you starve, and you can't sustain starvation, how the hell are you going to keep your weight off? So one of the critical concepts of a ketogenic lifestyle as opposed to a ketogenic diet, and especially in the carbohydrate addiction world, is to understand how you can eat to be full, to be stuffed, and yet still eat less, so that you're eating less because you're fully satisfied and satisfied for a long period of time, rather than intentionally cutting down on your calories. And the key principle here is a biologic principle. It's something that is embedded in our genes. It's something we do, but we've forgotten to do in the modern era. So the genetics of satiety is that satiety comes from fat. When you eat fat, along the pathway in our intestine, fat triggers certain hormones, and fat also, the consumption of fat, when it enters the fat cells, releases another hormone called leptin. So you've got about 5 hormones or more that get released that go back to your brain and says, dude, you're full. However, that feeling of fullness is a chemical satiety. Satiety just means feeling full. A chemical satiety, not a stretch satiety. So in the modern era with carbohydrates, where carbohydrates don't trigger that chemical satiety, we eat a portion until we're so stuffed and our stomachs are so stretched that we don't feel hungry anymore. But when you eat a high-fat diet, you get that chemical satiety. The question is, how do you condition yourself to change when you stop eating? Because we are so conditioned to eat based on what's in front of us, we haven't really learned or adapted to saying, hey, I've just eaten a little bit, I feel full, but oh my God, I'm going to get hungry because I haven't eaten the whole day, I'm doing intermittent fasting. Conditioning yourself to feel full. That's what this segment is about. And it's about, or it really is called, eating sequentially. So what we do in the modern era is we kind of know how much we think we should eat. I'm hungry, I think I need this amount, and we put this amount on a plate in front of us, and come hell or high water, we're going to try to finish as much of it as we can, and we love to be members of the Clean Plate Club. So let's do this. Why don't we start with a clean plate? Put an empty plate in front of you on the table. Remember, the rule for eating is to sit at a table with a plate of food and a knife and fork. So let's start there. Now, have an empty plate in front of you. Take whatever you think you need to eat, whether you're with your family, whether you're with friends, or whether you are by yourself. If your brain says, I think I need this much, put it in front of you in a dish. Put it on the table, but it's not your food, it's the table's food. Cut it up into lots of little pieces. Have a small empty plate in front of you and go and take one piece of that food. And make sure it's food, not crystal meth. Make sure there's no carbohydrates. But it can be animal products or vegetable products, preferably more on the carnivorous side. Take a tiny piece. If you want to, add a little bit of something that contains fat to it. Look at the next segment for that part. Fat fortify it and eat it. And guess what? You're still going to be hungry. So go back and get another piece, and go back and get another one and another one. I don't care how often you go back. But every time you go back for another piece, number one, you're making a decision not about how much you think you need to eat, but I've eaten some, do I want more? So in other words, you're making a decision based on what's happening over here, not what's happening over here. That's the first thing. The second thing is, by going back and forth and by eating with a plate of food and a knife and fork, you are slowing yourself down. You're not eating like a Rottweiler having breakfast. Trademark the comment of, or the statement of, eating like a Rottweiler or Rottweiler syndrome, where we go and we eat. In fact, in America, it was so funny when I came to this country, I learned to eat in the British way with a knife and fork. What Americans do is they cut their food up and then sit there and shovel it in as quickly as they can. You overeat before you feel chemically full. If you slow down, if you eat sequentially the way I just said, it might be halfway, it might be a third of the way through, it might be after you've eaten all of it. But at some point, this guy says, and your fat cells say, dude, you're starting to feel full, you're starting to feel a little queasy. Now, we're not conditioned to feel that queasy feeling, and it doesn't just start as one level, it builds up slowly. As you feel that queasy feeling, stop. You're not going to have eaten a lot. Get up, go wash your hands, go put the dishes in the sink, let the dog out, 2 minutes. Come and sit back down. And what you'll find is that leptinoid response will have grown. You're feeling fuller, but it's a chemical fullness. You're feeling a little queasy, you're feeling, hey, I'm kind of okay. I haven't eaten a lot, but I'm kind of okay. Learn to trust yourself. If you're feeling okay, stop. Your plate's empty in front of you. That's the table's food. Put the table's food back in the fridge. If not, if you still, hey, I just want another bite, have another one. No crime. But inevitably, what you're going to find is you're going to be full, but you're going to have eaten far less than what's in front of you. So eating sequentially eats you to the point that your stomach and your bloodstream, you're chemically full, not to the point that your brain thought you needed that food and you're going to eat to excess. And that is the way that you reduce your caloric consumption on a day in, day out basis without ever feeling hungry, without an element of starvation. When you're at a restaurant, the psychology of a restaurant is to give you the menu. You're hungry, so you order the starter, you order the entree, you overorder, and they take the menu away from you. Now all this food comes, what the hell are you going to do? If it's carbohydrates, you're going to eat it all or take some home with you. You've overordered, you're going to overeat, you're going to get fat. On the flip side of that, if you play them at their game, look at the menu, order a starter if you're by yourself. The restaurant is unlikely to run out of food while you're sitting there. Keep the menu. I'm sorry, I was talking on the phone, just bring me my starter, I'm going to look at the rest of the menu. Eat your starter. And now you've kept all your options open. You might be full from that small starter. You might want another one. You might want a different one. You might want an entree. You might want to eat some of the leftovers of your friend. All the options are open. And sometimes you can say, you know what, I'm kind of full from this. I don't have time to eat anymore. Let's get out of here. You've undereaten and yet you're satisfied. And that satisfaction lasts a long time, feeds into the intermittent fasting concept where you won't eat for a long period of time because of chemical satiety. You're in ketosis, you're using fat, the fat you ate to get you there, and then a seamless transition from the fat you've eaten to your own fat to keep you in ketosis. You can go a long period of time without eating, and in a 24-hour period, you're going to eat way less than if you're eating a portion of food. And that's how you lose weight and keep it off and sustain that behavior lifelong without ever feeling hungry. That's called eating sequentially. And this episode goes tightly along with the next episode, which is how to set yourself up for eating in ketosis. I hope you learned from this. Go home and practice. It's unnatural, but it becomes who you are if you do it enough. Addiction management is about breaking habits, portion and calorie control, and creating new habits, eating sequentially and eating like a Chihuahua, not a Rottweiler. Good luck. I hope you enjoyed that podcast. If you did, please click the subscribe button and become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And if that message resonated with you and made you think, and you made a decision to do more to help yourself, but you need help, please come and see us. Set up a consultation. We can do it in person in my offices in Palm Beach Gardens at 561-627-4107 or in Jacksonville, Florida at 904-410-3934. I also do some long-distance consults telephonically or on Zoom. Set that up as well by calling 561-627-4107. We help people to manage their diabetes better and also to get started in obesity management. Or if you've had bariatric or obesity surgery and are struggling, give us a shout. We can help to get you back on track.